Now what do we have here? When my crew told me that they had found a stowaway, I didn't quite believe it. I'm usually fairly well known for, well, for lack of a better term, for running a tight ship. I don't allow such things to happen here, especially considering our more exotic cargo. Why someone would want to be on a ship like this, as opposed to an official one, is beyond me, but that's not really the point of this little meeting, is it? I understand that you're probably confused, frustrated, maybe even embarrassed that you got caught. I've faced your type before. I know that they take a certain kind of pride in this kind of petty crime, but the thing is, it's not impressive to me. Maybe the normal citizens or whatever it was that arrested you for your last little petty stunt would be impressed by something like this, but let's just say that I've seen much more complicated and performed much better stunts than you have now. Now, no need to scoff at me. You're the one that's been caught on my ship, remember? If anyone's in charge here, it's me, and it's certainly not you. I work hard to make sure that my crew understands the relationship that we have here. I build teamwork out of respect, both from me and for me, and I will not have someone like you messing that up. Now, like I said before, I don't exactly understand why you would pick my ship over one of the more complex and official ones that were in that port we just left, but it doesn't matter. I don't care who they are, where they came from, or what their plans are. I don't care why you chose this one instead of the other ones. I don't tolerate stowaways, in any form. But, like I said, my clients get what they pay for, and this is the rare occasion when we have cargo leaving a port, rather than the other way around. So there's no time to go off on a little misadventure to drop you off on some deserted island. Yet. Don't worry. That's where you'll end up eventually, if I have anything to say about it, and I will have quite a lot. But, like I said, I don't have the time just now, and I am known for being quite punctual. You've gotten quite lucky. I have half a mind to make you walk the plank now. Oh, don't look at me like that. Don't tell me you don't know what kind of ship this is. You really don't, do you? Well, I suppose that we were in what we like to call incognito mode, considering we went to port recently. And if you've been hiding since then in some corner of the ship, I suppose you haven't been able to see what's happened since we lost the sight of, shall we say, common people. But it doesn't matter. If you haven't had the opportunity to figure it out, or more likely the brains, to be honest, I don't care one way or another whether you know why you're here or why this is such an issue, because you're a thorn in my side either way. But I don't like leaving loose ends lying around. So, while I normally wouldn't do this, especially for a petty criminal like you, this time I will spell it out. I don't know exactly what you were planning on doing by stealing away on the first ship that you saw come into harbor, especially considering mine is, well, she is a beauty, but she's not one of those big, fancy, shiny royal ships, is she? Perhaps that's why you thought that you'd be able to get away on her. But I'm here to assure you that that is not going to slide. As you've already been caught, perhaps quite a bit quicker than you originally wanted to be. It doesn't matter, though. No. I don't think that you're going to be getting any special treatment just because I have a smaller crew and some of the other fancy streamlined ones. I may have less men than the other ships you've seen, but the ones I do have are quite skilled. Better to have 10 perfect crewmates than 100 average ones. Though, I suppose now that I have an extra useless one lying around, it's not something that I appreciate. So, let me be blunt. since it's not going to matter whether or not you tell the truth of what we are, considering you're never going to return to where you came from, and therefore can't report us to any authorities. But, in case you hadn't already worked it out, this isn't exactly an ordinary vessel. And these are no ordinary sailors. Our cargo this time around is for a specific client, and one that likes to pay under the radar. It's not often that we get a commission to do work of this kind. I prefer to stay out of ports if I can manage it. So, of course, the one time that I do have to go there, I end up with something like you. Now, don't tell me you haven't worked it out even this far into it. Do I really have to say the word out loud for you? Apparently I do. Well then, little Stowaway, just so that everything is clear between us, this is going to be a little bit of a bumpy voyage for you, considering you've had the misfortune of trying to stow away on a pirate ship. Ah, I see our reputation precedes us. So you do know about pirates after all. And judging by your reaction, you haven't heard anything good. Though, to be fair, I'm not exactly sure that if you had been on any other ship your fate would have been any better. If you've landed on some military vessel, I'm sure they would have treated you much worse than I already have. Look at it this way. I may have locked you in my cage, but the captain herself came down to greet you. That's a high honor, especially for someone like you. But, though I'm not a particular fan of stowaways, I'm not exactly someone that holds a, shall we say, perfect record myself. I will admit, it is a bit interesting to me that you managed to do something illegal on a ship full of other criminals. If it hadn't been for the part where you ended up on thy ship without my knowledge, then you might fit right in. But, as it stands, I must say it's quite disrespectful that you are trying to steal a ride without doing your share. Though, even though I'm sure you might not see it that way, this might be a good scenario for both of us. Let me put it like this. Other ships have rules, reasons that people brought them, qualifications that have to be met in order to be a crew member there. Well, I want to say that there are no rules here. Though there are a few, they're definitely looser than some of the others I've witnessed. And, like I said before, usually stowaways are not something that is possible with me. I'm too quick to catch them. So, I am curious how you managed to slip past my guard in the first place. It is a skill that could possibly be useful. And not just to you personally. So, I have a proposal, considering you're willing to hear me out. When I first heard that my men had discovered a stowaway, my first inclination was anger, naturally. Mostly because I'm not a fan of porting, and I had almost managed to slip away with no incidents. A rarity for this ship, as perhaps you will find out for yourself soon enough. But that's not the point. The fact that you managed to hide on here for as long as you did, though I'm sure you did get caught sooner than you thought you would, it is still rather impressive. I'll give you that much. And praise from me is not a regular visitor, so take it well. And that's not to mention the fact that you managed to get on board in the first place. So, considering that you seem to have certain skills and stealth and a willingness to take risks such as this, perhaps you could turn out to be useful after all, stowaway or otherwise. Now, don't go getting excited before you've heard the entirety of my proposition. I seem to recall mentioning that my crew and I are built on a system of mutual respect. A system which you have promptly spit on by sneaking on here with no invitation. Knowingly or not, it doesn't matter to me. My point is, your skills are admirable, but you, personally, are still in the doghouse as far as I'm concerned. So, if you want a place here, which perhaps could be open to you in the future, then you will have to earn it, the same way that everyone else here has. Ah, don't look so shocked. It really isn't that much to ask, considering the circumstances. And if anyone's having a favor done for them, it's you. But, well, since we can't exactly drop you off anywhere until we have this job finished, you might as well have a chance to prove yourself while we're on our way. Let's just say that with my crew, journeys rarely tend to go smoothly. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It definitely keeps this life interesting, but perhaps some of your skills would have something that they could contribute to that. So, maybe I'll make use of you. Well, only because I don't have any other choice at the moment. That being said, don't get any funny ideas about trying to turn on us. I still have no qualms about making you walk the plank. If you turned out to be useful to me, then I suppose you can stick around. I figure, why waste good skills if I could put them to use? So, that's my offer. Take it or leave it. You have until nightfall if that's any consolation to you. But I think we both know which is the better option. I'll be back soon. Until then, I eagerly await your answer.